Jacob, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
I think so, Drew. But wouldn't more already disappear out of the holodeck?
I think the only thing holographic is your brain. No, you fool, we're going to review an animated movie on this here podcast.
Brilliant! No, wait. Why would anybody want to listen to geeks like us?
Because, you fool, these people are so very easily entertained.
Okay, Drew. Narf!
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Cellcast. Joining me today is a man who's just hungry for some corn, Jacob.
Why, thank you. I'd like to introduce my co-host, a man who just got to rustle up some longhorns. Welcome, Drew.
That did not sound like Sam Elliott at all.
I know. It didn't sound like Sam Elliott. You know how hard that is a voice to do?
I don't know what you're talking about, son.
Okay, never mind then.
How are you doing today?
Are you
worn out working retail during the middle of the coronavirus?
Yes, I am. I am because to give a little context here. So Monday was chaos, completely utter chaos with people.
You mean Friday wasn't chaos?
Oh, Friday was nuts.
Thursday wasn't chaos?
Oh, it's been nutty.
I know you can't say anything for Saturday or Sunday because somehow you weren't there those 2 days.
Yeah, praise the Lord, I was off. But Monday was nuts. Monday was absolutely bonkers. So I get off, come home, grab some food, walk to a Young Living event, which is right down the road from where I live. Mm-hmm. Walk back at like 9:30 at night. Get home, watch our movie we're reviewing today, go to bed, get up, go to work, spend the entire day on my feet, nonstop, go to lunch at 3 because I was supposed to go to lunch at 1. And being shorthanded is always fun.
Right.
So get home and I've never been so worn out. I've been worn out because I played football in high school and middle school. So yeah, I remember those days of getting home and just being exhausted.
Yes.
That brings me back to those days, just how mentally and physically exhausted I was and frustrated at everything.
Right, but I would say the difference is at football practice, that's what, 3-4 hours?
3 hours.
3 hours? Okay. And while that is physically demanding,
admittedly,
and there are some mental abilities, you're really not being pulled in more than one or two directions at most, right?
Well, it depends on what you're doing. But
I'll admit, I didn't play football. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to get is, I bet at Brookshire Brothers, you're being pulled in when you're the only one there.
Oh yeah,
you're being pulled from 20 different directions.
Oh, absolutely.
And you only can do so much.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's frustrating, and you live with that frustration for 8 hours.
Yes,
with no break.
Yeah, I
no wonder you're tired.
Yeah, I had by the grace of God, I was allowed a 30-minute lunch because literally my boss walked over. It's like, okay, Jake, just patted me on the shoulder. It's okay. And I was frustrated and tired because I wanted to go on lunch, and I get very hangry when I'm craving some food.
He's not lying, folks.
Yeah, you don't want to see me when I'm hangry.
He's like the Incredible Hulk, but with hunger pains.
Too true. Anyways, so
though he doesn't turn green, it's more of an orangey red.
Or just start turning into a wolf and just.
Anyway,
either way. Oh, that remind me. This is kind of a weird sidetrack because we're sitting in line because it's always kids will do the silliest things, as Bill Cosby once said, or just the oddest things. So
darndest is how.
Darndest, thank you. That's how Bill Cosby said it. Well,
he stole it from somebody else, but yes.
Yeah, either way. So I'd be like, I'm sacking, and the checker I'm working with, her mother and her two youngest come up, and so the oldest is like, I can't remember how old her oldest daughter is, or the oldest of the youngest, and for some reason she starts howling like a little wolf pup. It's, and it's just like me and Teddy, that's her name, Teddy. or the checker's name is Teddy. And we are just both laughing and trying to. She's asking her sister, "Why are you howling?" It was hilarious. And definitely when you get home and you're about to record and someone starts putting on Fluffy, it just made my day. Or
you needed the release before we got into the episode.
Oh, yeah.
I could tell.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So
Plus, I wanted to get a good laugh, too.
Oh, yeah. A good way to get rid of the anxiety and the worries of the day. So either way, that's been my day. It's been very, very long and tiring. How's your day been?
Thankfully, not as long and tiring as yours.
Yeah.
That's mainly because I'm not in retail.
Yeah.
No, the day was long, and I should stay off the internet more. I don't mean like I'm on the internet at work, but I'm connected far too much to this news than I really need to be.
Right.
And, okay, just to put everything in context, like you said a minute ago, I'm not worried about the coronavirus. If I get the coronavirus, boo-hoo, I get sick.
Yeah.
I will probably survive.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, well, I will do my best not to get around other people and get them sick. Except for Jacob, because we still have to record these episodes.
Yes.
He'll have to but he's probably going to get it more faster than I am anyway, so.
For how many crazy people I work with.
Exactly.
I have to be around.
I'm more worried about the quarantine itself. And that's what I'm watching and seeing all this stuff going, you people. Stupid. Why are you going this crazy over toilet paper?
Oh, I agree with you.
And hand sanitizer. Spoiler alert, hand sanitizer's not really what you want right now.
No.
It's soap.
And water.
Exactly, because the soap actually tears the viruses apart. Unlike the hand sanitizer, which, that will kill it just from it being on the surface, but you don't get the full tearing of it apart.
No.
And it's just kind of annoying watching the stupidity of so many people. And, even though where I work is not directly connected to health services, we do print boxes for a company that makes soap. So,
okay.
Yeah, guess what we're printing right now?
Oh. So I'd be like
or not soap actually, but still.
Yeah, to our audience, we are not implying that none of you are stupid who have gone out and bought bought supplies you needed.
That is not what we're saying.
No,
we're saying to all of you hoarders out there,
yes, stop, please. Or as
you will have water to drink, you will have toilet paper to wipe your bottoms with. If you just stay calm. And worst case scenario, you got a shower next to your toilet. Use that. Just time it right. You'll be fine.
Just a bit. You'll be fine.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's how
that's probably the nastiest we've ever been on this
yes,
show.
I agree. I agree with you. That got a little weird. Anyway,
I know neither one of us have gotten quarantined enough to stay home and watch a lot of stuff, but have you watched anything?
Yes. I'm still going through Gravity Falls season 2.
Awesome.
And oh my gosh, when we finally get around,
what episode are you up to?
Let me think. We are up to the reveal of Stan's past.
Okay.
And we the previous episode was we get the reveal of what Stan has been up to.
Okay.
We get his brothers. Go ahead.
I was gonna say if we're getting to his brother, let's not.
Okay.
It's just one of those things. Like I am so glad I did not know that beforehand, and that's why it's one of the things I made sure not to tell you about.
Yeah. Well,
so I'm trying to keep that part the secret.
Yeah, that was the
same reason I was trying to keep Baby Yoda a secret as little as that helped.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, the cool thing was when season 2 started, I was like, what in the world is Stan doing? And I was like, and he's like, this is bigger than Dipper is going to interfere with it. And so the gravity shakes happen, and it's just like, what in the world is he doing? Because I remember in the back of my mind people talking about Grunkle Stan's brother, but I had no idea about it. So I'm watching it. I watched the end of it. I'm like, what the heck? I was like, this is awesome. This is so cool. And then you get the
Have you caught who voices him?
Oh yeah,
J.K.
Simmons.
It's like,
when he first spoke, it's like, oh my gosh, that's Simmons.
oh my word.
That was
J. Jonah
Jameson. That was such a good reveal.
Okay, so you're within the last 10 episodes of the series.
Yes, currently I'm on disc 2 of season 2.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's yes, I agree with you. It's such a good show.
Let me know when you get to Weird Mageddon.
Weird Mageddon. Okay,
I will. The last 5 episodes of the show.
Okay. Well, we did. Sorry, we did have the opportunity to go see Onward in theaters. Which,
we did.
Yeah, that was a very good movie.
And we practiced self-distancing as there was only 5 other people in the auditorium.
Yes,
and they're all in their own rows.
Yes, there was plenty of space.
Yes,
and
we didn't get it there. If we got it at all.
Yes. So if you listen to our review, which I hope you have, of our reaction video to Onward.
I mean, it's not up. It's, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's on.
That was a bad joke.
Yeah. Either way. Onward, my brother.
Yes.
So let us know what you think of Onward. It'd be like if you get the chance.
If you got a chance to watch it before the theaters all shut down.
Yeah. Please don't shut it down.
This is a weird time.
So yeah, like you said, it's a very awkward time, very odd time for movies going. Theaters are shutting down. They're getting to the news later of movies being pushed
later and being released in different ways while still being released in a theater if it's open.
Yeah,
it's the whole kit and caboodle is just weird.
Yeah. And that's kind of affected our other podcasts, the Movie of the Week podcast.
Oh, yeah. Much of what we planned there has just been upended, and we're having to punt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. And that's going to be interesting what's going to, transpire.
Oh, yeah.
With it. All right. So what have you been watching, Drew?
Well, Onward, of course. We watched that. And a couple movies for the other show, of course, because you watched those too. I've picked up Phineas and Ferb again. I'm nearing the end of season 2.
Okay.
Which means I'm coming up on the first movie, Across the Second Dimension. I'm looking forward to getting to that, but I'm not to it yet.
Okay.
Of course, I am still watching Star Trek Picard. That is getting really good.
What episode is that on right now?
Second or third to last. I can't remember what number we're up to. It's like 8 or 9. It's just been so good so far. The thing is, as a diehard Trekkie, I have no idea how well this plays to people who don't know Star Trek. Because I'm going, oh, it's that thing. Oh, it's that thing. Oh, it's that thing. Oh, they're doing that. Oh, that's cool. They're doing that thing. Oh, they're explaining this thing that they never explained before. Holy crap, that's so awesome to see that happen. And I'm sitting there thinking, and a part of me goes, how do people who have no idea who any of these characters are, anything that's happening, how do they feel about what's going on? Are they keeping up? And the other part is going, I don't know, who cares? Woohoo! This is awesome.
Well, good.
That's
awesome.
That's kind of where I am. I do know one of the other things is, and I've already promised my mom this, that once Picard finishes, I got to catch up on Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
I'll expect hearing about that over the course of the next couple weeks.
Okay.
When I start that up.
Yeah. When you talk about Picard, because I've watched the first episode, and there's a lot of because I watched a little bit. I'm more of the movie based when it comes to Star Trek, and so there's a lot of them like, huh? What's going on?
You're confused about Captain Picard Day, aren't you?
Yes. just a little bit. Just a little bit. I was like, what does this mean? But either way, we can get into that much later on.
Yes.
Show.
What do we got in the news?
All right. So, in the news this week, a lot about a certain little virus going around that's affecting a lot of things.
Stupid miniature volleyball with spikes.
Yeah.
And how
Thanks,
it's affecting
Wilson.
Everything.
All right.
Hey, it could have been worse. It could have been Spalding.
Ooh, yeah, it could have been worse. It could have been a lot worse. All right. So, in the news, With the outbreak of the COVID-19 crisis affecting everything now, Universal Pictures has announced plans to make its major movie releases available on home entertainment the same day of their global theatrical debuts. Plans begin with DreamWorks Animation's hyper-colorful musical sequel, Trolls World Tour, due to drop the base on U.S. screens.
You did not just say that.
Yes, I did. I'm reading from the script.
Uh,
The big screen, April 10th. All right. So more COVID-19 news regarding movies. Frozen 2 has been pushed up 3 months to go ahead and schedule to be on Disney Plus, which apparently was released Sunday.
yeah.
So, yeah. So it was released March 15th, surprising families with some fun and joy of this challenging period. And the last bit of news, I think, last bit of news, which, of course, includes COVID-19.
Because everything does right now.
Oh, yeah. With everything going on in the world, major festivals and theme parks are being closed. Sad, Disney World is closed right now.
Disney World and Disneyland are both closed
Yes,
right now.
all the
There
parks.
are pictures of the parks with nobody in them, and it is creepy.
Oh, yeah. All right. So with parks, with all these, major events, comic conventions, and everything are
All
shutting
this
down.
stuff getting shut down and canceled.
Oh, yeah, are being postponed. A number of major motion pictures are delaying their theatrical release for studios acquiring the low output. Regarding the low attendance and face total cinema closures to major markets including Japan, Denmark, Norway, Greece, Italy, Poland, and many states in India, with many expected to follow. Disney has abruptly moved upcoming tentpole movies such as Mulan and 20th Century Fox, Marvel's New Mutants, slated for April 3rd, is off the schedule completely right now. Via last Thursday. And this will also include Sony Pictures has pushed back Peter Rabbit to the Runaway from its Easter window to August 2nd to August 7th internationally and domestically. Originally, it was supposed to be released April 3rd. So, yeah, there's a lot of movies being pushed back.
Oh, yeah. This fall is going to be packed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Everybody playing catch up. You're going to have stuff only be in theater a week because they literally have to move that thing out to put something else in.
Oh, I completely agree with you. The fact that I do feel really bad for Marvel's The New Mutants.
Yeah.
Because that movie...
It's getting delayed.
Again! It's like
let it die. Let it
die!
I'm tired of seeing this movie advertised.
But hopefully it will be eventually be released. And there's because there again, this epidemic as it is now is just like my friend Nick was to be like, it's causing and affecting so many people's lives right now. Like there are people who are in quarantine and can't do anything, and be like, kind of a note, be like, if you are sick, stay home.
Yeah.
If you think you're coming down with something, stay home. If you think you need to go buy something, get someone else to go buy it for you. And as our pastor would say, just stop it. Like Drew said earlier, just stop it. Because people like myself who work in grocery stores and customer service be like, it's kind of a headache.
Yes.
And I know,
and please be nice to your retail workers.
Yes.
Right now they're in heck.
Oh yeah. Yes, I agree.
No, I'll be nice. They're in hell right now.
Yeah, pretty much. And very, very thankfully.
Imagine working Black Friday 7 days in a row for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts, and I'm very thankful for the customers that come through my store they're very polite, very courteous of each other, and they're not trying to run over each other.
let's move into our spoiler-free section on our review for Disney and Pixar's The Good Dinosaur. This was my second viewing of this movie. I saw it originally in theaters. I wish I'd gotten a chance to watch it more at the time.
Right.
And then, of course, once the hype died down, I just hadn't been able to get back to it. But this was actually one of the movies that when we first started talking about this podcast, it popped in mind is, we've got to review this movie.
I remember you mentioning it.
It took this long for me to get it on the list.
Right.
It is still a movie I think is severely, and I do mean severely underrated.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
More people need to see this movie because I don't think a lot of people did. And I know it didn't receive much critical acclaim when it came out because it came out the same year as Inside Out, which is admittedly an amazing movie.
Yeah.
But I thought just on the animation in this alone when it first came out that it was going to win an Academy Award.
You would think.
It got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even get nominated for anything, which is a crying shame. But I still like this movie. It's still a fun movie. And I had a smile on my face for nearly the entire movie when I first watched it, or when I was watching it this time, and was even a little emotional by the end of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy this movie. It is definitely family friendly. If you've not seen it, I'm going to tell you to go watch it. Let's face it, if you're quarantined right now, you got plenty of time.
It's on Disney Plus.
Exactly. So, Jacob, what do you think of this movie?
Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed this film tremendously. Like when I first heard about it in theaters, I saw the poster and I was like, this doesn't look like a good movie. I didn't like the character designs, and I'm not a big fan of cavemen or the bipedal caveman type character. I've never been a fan of that. So it was a total turn off. And then I think it was the same year you had Inside Out.
Yes, which was so good.
Yeah, Inside is incredible, which we will do a review over at some point.
Eventually.
But,
or as we kept saying the other night, we'll get to it when we get to it.
Yes. So, this is my first viewing of the film. I had a very odd story when I come to this film. I had ordered movies from Disney Movie Club, and so I get it in the mail, pop it open, and there's this movie, The Good Dinosaur, and it's like, really? I got this movie? I didn't order this, and so I get on the phone with them and be like, hey, I got this, and be like, hey, your order's messed up, and they're like, okay, we'll send you the right one, and be like, this is for free. And it's okay, cool. So when this movie finally had its time to shine in the role, I was like, okay, sit down, watch it. So I sat down last night watching it.
Yeah.
And I was floored. I was like, oh my gosh, this movie is absolutely beautifully animated. Like, gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Amazing. And all the hype and praise you brought upon this film in the past, and was like, he's not kidding. This is a good film. This is a really good film. And it's like,
its issues, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
it's a good film.
Yeah, it's got its little issues here and there, but it's still a good movie. So yeah, I'd be like, it's definitely family friendly, and it'll tug at your heartstrings a little bit. So yeah, that's my review from someone who had never seen the film and dismissed it when it first came into theaters, and now I'm just like, wow, where's this movie been?
Unfortunately, the discount bin because nobody watched it.
Yeah, apparently.
Me and the one other guy I know about who's on another podcast.
Okay.
Gabriel Green over on Franchise Fatigue. I know he loves this movie too.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, that's the podcast I did the Spider-Man review on a couple months back.
So, yeah. So, that is our spoiler-free.
That finishes our spoiler-free section, so we'll move into our spoiler-filled review for the movie The Good Dinosaur. The following is a spoiler-filled review for the movie The Good Dinosaur. The listener discretion is advised.
Let's learn to roar.
Not that he ever really did.
No, he doesn't.
But Before I get into this, I want to bring up a funny thought that crossed my mind.
Yeah.
So calling this movie The Good Dinosaur kind of feels weird.
It does.
Because it's it doesn't really describe anything. There's a dinosaur, yes. And he's good, I suppose, but that's not him being a good dinosaur doesn't really make much sense. So I have a theory as to where the name comes from. This is not the first Disney movie with the name Dinosaur.
Dinosaur?
There was a dinosaur movie that came out in the early 2000s that was computer animated.
Yes.
I think this is Pixar saying, that was not the good dinosaur. This is
the good dinosaur. Okay. That makes sense.
That's just a theory. It's just that's probably not even what they were doing, but I kind of find it ironic.
Yeah.
Anyway, The Good Dinosaur was written and directed, and this guy also was the voice of the pet collector by Peter Sohn, who this was actually his directorial debut.
Really?
Yeah. He was the voice of Squishy in Monsters University. Is his other major role.
Okay. Interesting.
It was also written by Bob Peterson, Eric Benson, Meg LaFauve. My apologies, Meg. I mispronounced your name.
LaFauve?
Kelsey Mann, Peter Hedges, and Adrian Molina, with music by Jeff Dana and Michael Dana. The cast includes Jeffrey Wright as Papa, who you might remember as Felix Leiter in all the James Bond movies since Casino Royale.
Oh, yeah.
Frances McDermott played Mama. She was Marge Gunderson in the movie Fargo. Mm-hmm. I think that's the police lady from Minnesota that says, "Is that your friend back there in the wood chipper?"
I've never seen Fargo.
I've not seen it either. I just have seen that clip. It's like, that's just the most off-the-wall clip. Anyway, Marcus Scribner plays Buck. You might know him as Bo in She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
Oh, okay.
Malia Nepe Padilla played Libby. Now, Libby, I didn't realize this, so I was going through the cast list. She only speaks while she's a kid. She doesn't speak as in the older thing that's throughout most of the movie.
Yeah, that's right. She does.
So that's technically young Libby, but there wasn't an old Libby. So, she only had 2 other acting credits, but the one I thought I had to pick one. She was Alina in Fruitvale Station. Because I swear that name of that movie sounds familiar, so that's why I went with
Fruitvale Station?
Yeah.
I've actually been in that station before.
Raymond Okoa. I don't know how to say this guy's name. My apologies. But he played Arlo, and in Disney in the video games Disney Infinity, he's the voice of Dash.
Oh,
I did double check to see if maybe he took over for the original Dash in Incredibles 2, because obviously original Dash can't do that voice anymore.
Yeah, because he's a little older.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's him. Unfortunately, but he is the voice in Disney Infinity. Jack Bright is the voice of Spot, and he did additional children's voices for Monsters University, and some additional voices in Kingdom Hearts 2. But I'm not claiming him as the connection.
Okay,
we'll get to that.
Okay.
Steve Zahn plays Thunderclap.
Oh, okay. Pterodactyl.
And he was Bad Ape in War of the Planet of the Apes.
You play Bad Ape.
That's the name of the character.
Okay.
I'm thinking that's got to narrow it down.
Yeah.
I'll admit, I still yet to watch any of the newer Planet of the Apes movies.
Me neither.
Shame on you. AJ Buckley played Nash. And in CSI New York, he plays Adam Ross. Anna Paquin plays Ramsey.
Okay.
And she is Rogue in X-Men.
X-Men
movies. And of course, Sam Elliott plays Butch.
Yes.
He is Virgil Earp in Tombstone.
Yes.
And Carter Slade in Ghost Rider.
Oh, okay.
The older Phantom Ghost Rider.
Yeah. One thing I barely ever seen the film.
On the horse.
Horse, you know.
And of course, John Ratzenberger played Earl, the lead Velociraptor.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't sound like John Ratzenberger.
No, it doesn't sound like Ratzenberger at all.
But of course, he was Cliff Clavin in Cheers.
Of course.
And he played Ham in Toy Story.
Yeah.
And he is this week's Kingdom Hearts connection as he reprises his role as Ham in Kingdom Hearts 3. So what's the box office in this movie look like?
All right. So on IMDb, it's rated as 6.7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. And on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a rating of 78%.
Okay.
Yeah. Not bad. Not
bad, but not great.
Yeah. All right. So production, obviously, it was done by Walt Disney Pictures and Pixar Animated Studios. The distributor of this film was Walt Disney Studio Motion Pictures. Box office had a budget of $200 million estimated. Mm-hmm. Its opening U.S. gross was $39.1 million. Now, that was on November 29th. November 29th. It opened on the 25th, 2015. Its U.S. domestic gross was $123.0 million.
All right.
Its worldwide gross was $333.2 million. So it made its budget back, but just by...
That's still surprising the way people talk about this movie.
Yeah. Like it sounded like it did really well done box office wise.
Yeah.
But I saw a review where it was like, Pixar's lost their magic.
I'm still saying it's because we had Inside Out the same year.
Agreed.
But I would say that, but unfortunately, Onward is kind of fighting the same fight here.
It is.
And it's a great movie too.
Agreed.
So, I don't know.
People are picky about their Pixar.
People want perfection and can't understand it when it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
All right, so that's all I have for that.
All righty. Well, getting into the synopsis of this movie. In an alternate history, the asteroid that would have caused the extinction of the dinosaurs 65 million years ago passes safely over Earth. Millions of years later, Apatosaurus corn farmers, Henry and Ida, have children, Libby, Buck, and the runt, Arlo, who has trouble adjusting to farm life. While his successful siblings are allowed to make their mark, a mud print on the family's corn silo, Arlo's timid nature makes tasks difficult for him. Henry attempts to give Arlo a sense of purpose by putting him in charge of guarding their silo and helps him set a trap. It captures a cave boy, but Arlo cannot bring himself to kill him and sets him free. Disappointed, Henry takes Arlo to track the cave boy, leading them into a ravine. Henry saves Arlo from a flash flood before being swept away and killed. Without his father, Arlo shoulders more of the workload. He spots the same cave boy inside the silo and, blaming him for his father's death, chases him into a river, where he hits his head on a stone and is knocked unconscious. Awakening, he finds himself far from home and tries to survive on his own, but becomes trapped when a boulder pins his leg. The next day, Arlo wakes up to find his leg has been freed, and the cave boy appears with food for him. The cave boy then leads Arlo to a berry tree where the cave boy fends off a large snake, amazing Arlo and impressing a nearby eccentric Styracosaurus who wants to keep the boy. He forces Arlo to compete with him to give the boy a name which he will respond to, which Arlo finally wins when he calls him Spot. Arlo and Spot bond as Arlo laments his lost family, and Spot reveals that his own parents are dead. Later, when a storm strikes, Arlo runs away in fear and loses the riverbank he has been following home. The next morning, Arlo wakes to find Spot at his side. They are noticed by a band of pterodactyls led by Thunderclap, who appears to be conducting a rescue operation, but turns out to be savagely carnivorous. When the pterodactyls try to take Spot, Arlo and Spot flee, happening upon a pair of Tyrannosaurus named Nash and Ramsey, who ward off the pterodactyls. Nash and Ramsey and their father Butch have lost their herd of longhorns, so Arlo offers Spot help in sniffing them out. The group locates the herd, but Butch recognizes the work of cattle rustlers and uses Arlo as a lure. Arlo and Spot attract the attention of 4 rustler velociraptor, allowing Butch and his family to attack. After the rustlers have been driven out of the pasture, Arlo joins the Tyrannosaurus in driving the cattle south when he sees the familiar mountain peaks of his homeland in the distance and leaves the spot to return home. Along the way, they encounter an adult feral caveman in the distance, and though Spot shows interest, Arlo dissuades him and they continue on. As another storm approaches, Thunderclap and the pterodactyls return and attack and carry Spot away. Arlo becomes entangled in vines where he has a vision of Henry leading him home. Arlo instead resolves to save Spot, making the vision of his father proud before it fades away. Arlo finds and attacks the pterodactyls, who have cornered Spot at the river. Arlo and Spot together plunge Thunderclap and the pterodactyls into the water, where they are swept helplessly downstream. When another flash flood occurs, Arlo leaps into the water to rescue Spot as the two are swept away towards a waterfall. Arlo protects Spot as the two plummet down the fall and carries him to shore. As they approach Arlo's home, the two again hear the unknown caveman call and are approached by an entire cave family. With great reluctance, Arlo pushes Spot to join his adopted family, and the two of them share a tearful goodbye. Arlo finally arrives home to his mother and siblings and makes his mark on the silo between those of his mother and father. So, since this was your first viewing, Jacob, what's your first like on this movie?
My first like would be the story. Mm-hmm. The story is so good. It has this Wild West frontier kind of feel, except it's dinosaurs. And oh my gosh, where to begin with this story? The fact to be like there's so when Papa and Arlo go, gotta go find the cave boy, be like what it reminded me of was Lion King. Be like, that entire scene reminded me so much of the Lion King.
Right.
And I was just like, whoa, okay, this is really good. This is really good storytelling. And just be like how epic the storytelling is in this film is so tremendous. I'm going to use the word prodigious. I know I use the Digimon reference, but
let's not be pedantic.
Nuance. But man, it's the story. Just be like the story between our two main characters, and just the story is so good. It was so good. Be like I'm. There's a part of me kind of regrets not seeing it in the theaters because kind of like what Papa or Henry says, that be like if you just get past your fear, be like you can see the beauty of things. Mm-hmm. And I think that was with me with this with the movie, because when, like I said earlier, I didn't like how the character designs were. Right. And watching it last night was, oh my gosh, this has completely changed my perspective on this film, and I love it. The story is so gripping and so just moving and powerful. It's like, wow. And people didn't see this movie. It's just. It's uncanny that this film didn't do as well as it should have, but
oh yeah,
that's my number one. What's yours?
My first like of this movie is the scenery.
Oh yeah,
I have never seen realistic a scenery on any movie before this.
Oh yeah,
the clouds look like real clouds.
Oh yeah,
the water, my word, the water.
Yes,
it looks like water. It moves like water.
It looks like a photograph.
It is not animated water. It looks, honestly, what it kind of looks like is they went to this location somewhere on Earth and filmed it, and then put the animated characters on top of it, except it's not that.
Yes.
Because it looks almost too good to be that, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. The lighting is too... It looks like that it was actually filmed, which for an animated thing is amazing.
Yes.
The water, the avalanche scene, oh my word, the whole stinking... all the settings. My favorite shot is while they're driving the Longhorns through that valley at sunset.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, this is gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't believe this is computer generated.
Yeah.
And it's this good looking. Now, admittedly, this is 2005.
2015.
2015, sorry. We kind of stepped back from this, I think, because of this movie to more... admittedly, I don't think we've had that much Pixar since this movie, because all we've had is Incredibles 2, and we had another one come out. I can't think of what it is. Finding Dory?
Yeah, Finding Dory came out that time.
So yeah, we've had those two, and those, don't get me wrong, they're beautiful too, but they're matching an art style from before they could do this. This is and Toy Story 4 has come out since then too. They are beautiful movies. Do not get me wrong.
Right.
But they are matching an art style that this movie didn't have to match. This movie was allowed to be its own thing, and it went for, let's push these computers to their breaking points. It had to have been to generate some of the most beautiful computer-generated landscapes I have ever seen. Possibly until we got to Onward. Yeah. But
true.
Because that is obviously a step up, but it uses many of the same techniques. It's just not as picture perfect for obvious reasons. The movie is just so gorgeous throughout the entire thing, but primarily it's the settings and the stages the action takes place on. Even the wreckage when he wakes up and is talking and runs into the pterodactyls the first time.
Oh yeah.
Even that, despite the horror of the wreckage of the trees and all this other stuff, is still beautiful in its own way.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's my first like.
All right. Well, I think you stole my thunder on that one, but it's all right. It's perfectly fine. That's great.
All I said was the backgrounds. I said nothing about animation.
Oh yeah, this is kind of a twofold for me. It's like the animation of this movie is just drop dead gorgeous when you're talking with character design, or how the characters are animated. How the characters are animated are just gorgeous. The backgrounds are just like it looks like it's just shot in real time on an HD camera.
Yeah,
just gorgeous beyond belief. And just there's a part of me that's like, can I just take a picture, get this on Blu-ray because I have it on DVD.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, so
it's beautiful on Blu-ray.
I'm not surprised. I might wind up buying a Blu-ray of this, maybe. But it's like, can I just get a snapshot? Took like one of those panoramic shots and just
there are so
frame
many
it.
Screenshots you could get from this that would be perfect paintings.
Oh yeah,
themselves.
Oh yeah, and like literally, someone could walk into your house and be like, "Dude, where did you get that? The Good Dinosaur?" They're like, "Huh? What's this movie? Let me introduce you, my friend." Yes. But oh my, the animation is so. There's so many words you could describe the beauty, the epicness of this film coming from animation wise is just tremendous. And that's my number 2.
So my number 2 is the T-Rexes.
Oh, okay.
I love these 3 characters.
Yes.
They are, in my mind, the movie should have been Arlo and these 3 people the entire time.
Agreed.
Because they are some of the most fun. They are ranchers. They are, when you first see these T-Rexes, your first thought is, oh no, somebody's about to get eaten. Because that's what a Tyrannosaurus Rex is in nearly every other movie with dinosaurs in it.
Hint Jurassic Park.
Exactly. But then they actually help. They're actually the best help Arlo gets throughout the whole thing. Now, admittedly, Sam Elliott's character, whose name I can't think of, Butch. Admittedly, Butch does threaten to eat Arlo if he doesn't explain why he
what
can
you
be
do
of
in these
help.
parts. Yeah.
Exactly. When he thinks he's trespassing. But when they're good guys otherwise. And I love the stories of how each one of them got their scars.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That was really well done.
And then, of course, Butch pretty much explaining that being brave doesn't mean not being scared.
Yes.
Because if you're not scared, you're not living.
Yes.
And I love that it's the T-Rex that gives us, because we think when we think of T-Rexes,
fearless,
we think of fearless giant monster animals that are going to eat us all
with itty bitty arms.
Exactly. Who can't row their boat? For a little bit of inside baseball of a T-shirt I own. Anyway, but the fact that these are the best guys that Arlo could have come across, they're just good old boys trying to get their cattle back when the oldest boy was stupid and allowed him to escape, or allowed him to get stolen by velociraptors. Who, yes, I love the fact that the velociraptors have feathers because they're actually supposed to have feathers.
Darn raptors.
Exactly, but there was there was a small part of me that saw how they portrayed the velociraptors and was thinking, none of those three are clever girls.
No.
In any way, shape, or form.
No, they're not.
So, yeah, that's my number 2.
Definitely. None of them are definitely not blue.
Exactly. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is actually, it's a twofold. It's a twofold one. Would be the relationship between Arlo and
Spot.
Thank you. The fact that you had these two characters that were they were so polar opposites. Like one's a dinosaur, one's a caveman or cave boy, and they can't really speak with each other. There's that language difference.
Yeah.
Which I'll be like, he barks and growls and howls, and Arlo can talk perfectly English. Perfect English. And just how their relationship develops of be like, you're the reason my father died, and to the point where Arliss was like, I've got to go back because I love him, because they've grown such a fondness for each other.
Yeah.
Even though they'd be like, they have, literally nothing in common. Well, they do when it comes to their family situation. Their family situation.
They've both lost loved ones.
They have it's just this tender relationship, and it's so touching when they part ways. When they part ways, it's so incredibly moving, and I found myself just kind of like a little teary-eyed just a little bit when I was watching it. And I was like, man, that's so good. So good of how to... Now, mind you, there was a part of me, I wanted them to Spot to, go on with him. Yeah. And, but there again, that's almost a selfish thing to say that, Spot, let's say I love these two characters. I love these two characters. I love their dynamic. I love their relationship. And they part because you need to, because you have family now. Yeah. And that's one of the big keys with this movie is family. And my second part is actually Arlo's journey of going from very timid, very scared of everything, kind of character, and I can kind of relate in some ways. And his journey to becoming his father and much more, and becoming his father and so much more, and that fear is once you get past the fear, there's the stuff you didn't expect, and there's a line in a movie, not in a line in a movie, but a line in a song that I love called Bay of Wood by Garth Brooks, and it's a line it's just beyond the fear. And that is huge when you get past and you can use it for race relationships or what have you. Yeah. It's just, and it's looking past us that boundary of fear that it's like, oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. Be like, I'm scared to death. I'm going to fail or something like that, which is something I deal with. And watching this is like, wow. Be like the fact that you had the same little character who was the run of the litter, comes back and be like he's his he's like his father but plus, and it's just his journey is so heartwarming and just I fell for it. I was like, oh man, I'm sold. I love this, and so yeah, this is I love Arlo's journey. I love these two characters and their dynamic and their friendship and their camaraderie. It's just you eat it up. It's so good. So yeah, that's my number 3.
My number 3 has to be though the scene where they bond, talking about each other's families without.
That was so
speaking.
good.
I mean, kudos for them making 5 sticks that are dinosaur shaped and 3 sticks that are human shaped.
Yes.
But they do it in such a way where when you see the pile of sticks,
Yes.
it doesn't cross your mind that, oh, these are what they're shaped like.
Yeah.
So when they set them up and they draw the circle around it to say this is a family unit.
Yes.
And then putting down and burying those sticks that represent those who fell. It was just so beautiful. And it leads there at the end when they do depart.
Yes.
And Arlo points out, here's who these people are by drawing a circle around the family.
Yeah. That was good.
It was like, oh, break my heart, why don't you?
Yeah.
Stab it right in the heart. That entire sequence, especially when they do the howl.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And of course, I still love the lightning bug sequences too.
Oh, yeah, those are good.
Right.
Those are very good.
I still love those, but the fact that they did so well to give this movie heart. This could have been a simple Bambi story with a father who died instead of a mother.
Yeah.
It could have been that. And in a way, it kind of is.
It kind of does.
But it's also not that. It's its own thing. And by the end of it, while you're happy it's over, because he was able to get back home.
Yeah.
And there's honestly nowhere for the story to go past that point.
Yeah.
You're kind of sad that the movie's over too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's my number 3.
Okay.
The whole thing is it's just so well told.
All right. So I'm going to bring this point up. There is a certain song that I know of that it's called "You Always Find Your Way." You'll always find your way back home. And I'm not going to tell you who it was from. And I'll let our audience figure out who that is. 10 points to what song am I referring to and who's the artist. 10 points to whoever in the comments below on Facebook. 10 points to the first person who points out what song I'm referring to. You always find your way back home and who's the artist. Either way.
The Facebook page?
Yes.
Post,
Facebook page, yes.
All right. So, my first dislike,
all right,
if I may.
Go for it.
I hate the scene where they get hopped up on those berries.
Oh, good night.
It's so dumb.
Dumbo?
No, this isn't quite... Okay, Pink Elephants on Parade
yes.
is done much better.
Yes, I agree with you.
Because this is just like, you don't even recognize what's happening at first. And you're just looking at going, it's one of those times where, okay, while admittedly, this and Pink Elephants are probably scenes that do not need to happen.
Yes, I agree with you.
But with Pink Elephants, A, it is a song. B, it's extremely well done. This is like, what's the goofiest things we can do?
Oh,
in
yeah.
a scene with just kind of laughing back and forth to almost the point you feel uncomfortable. It's an unneeded uncomfortableness.
Yes, agreed.
In that scene. And I just do not like that scene.
Okay.
Because of that. It's unnecessary, it's pointless, and it does not do anything to move the story along other than, I guess, to show Arlo don't eat random berries you find rotting on the ground.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Which never comes up again.
No, it doesn't.
I still don't understand why this scene is even there. But yeah, that's my first dislike, is that one scene.
I gotcha. My number 1 that I dislike, and I think I brought it up before, was probably how they designed the characters. And nothing against the animation. Animation, like I said before, is drop dead gorgeous. I just don't like the way they designed the Bronchiosaurus. I think they're Bronchiosaurus? Bronchiosaurus?
No, they're not because those Brontosauruses don't actually exist.
Yeah. I know that's more of a combination, like 1 or 2 different dinos.
I have it written here. Hang on.
No problem.
Apatosaurus.
Apatosaurus. Thank you. Yeah, I just don't like the design in which they made the Patasaurus. It's be like, I don't like the big semi blocky head design. It'd be like, I know that's how the Patasaurus looks in a way, but it's just, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Be like, it just threw me off. But apparently, one of our listeners, Samantha, one of her younger sons enjoys this movie so much, and plus he loves dinosaurs. He's a little kid. He's like a little 4-year-old. So yeah, 4-year-old boys love dinosaurs.
Yes.
So yeah, big shout out to Samantha and Vaughn.
So my second dislike
Okay.
is kind of sort of connected.
Okay.
I mentioned I loved the almost photorealistic scenery.
Yeah.
And I'm not against the art design for the dinosaurs. Like, I know you're a little more against it, but
Yeah.
I'm not as against it as you are.
Yeah.
What I am against is the juxtaposition of these two vastly different artistic styles on screen at one time.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's true.
Because all the characters, and I do mean all the characters, are cartoony.
Yeah.
But they're in a realistic
Setting. Yes. I guess that's
this
one
can
of the
work
Yeah.
in a way, but the juxtaposition of these more, for lack of a better term, plastic dinosaurs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they're not plastic. I mean, they have decent. They did a good job with the light reflecting and all.
Yeah.
This. But the color choices they used
agreed
on a lot of these characters are, well, they're standard Pixar character colors, and that would be fine if it wasn't the fact that the scenery is so ultra realistic.
Yeah.
Where something like this thought process works for, say, Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, where it is a realistic location, but they're cartoony fish.
Yeah.
The fish kind of look cartoony in real life as it is, so it
That
doesn't
is
really
true.
mess with you. And admittedly, we don't really know what dinosaurs look like.
Yeah, that also
All of this is approximation and guesswork.
right.
Based on, admittedly, I'm a solid scientific evidence onto the design of these things, but we don't actually know precisely what they look like.
Yeah.
So I guess in some way I can I can let that go, but there's a part of me, especially when I'm watching the movie.
Yeah.
It's worse while it's bad on the dinosaurs, it is so much worse on the 6 humans in this movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Spot is a cartoon character.
Yeah.
I don't mean that in that he's animated. I mean, like, he could be on Looney Tunes, is what I mean.
Gotcha.
He's got. Don't get me wrong. I love the animation. I love the dog reactions that he gives, and it works. I mean, let's face it. If I didn't think that was realistic, I couldn't hang out with my good buddy here.
Right. Thank you.
But his general look and animation and character design, is too cartoony for the scenery.
Yeah, I agree.
One of two things needs to happen. They either need to make the characters look more realistic, or they need to make the scenery more cartoony. I don't want them to mess with the scenery.
No.
Obviously. But I am also afraid you get too realistic with the characters, it's not going to look right.
It's going to turn into dinosaur.
I don't really know where the middle ground is, and this might have been the best they could pull off.
Yeah.
It's just, when I see it, it sticks with me that okay, this is a cartoon movie,
right?
Even though the backgrounds look like they could have been painted, so by a realistic painter, and it's just the dinosaurs don't fit that realism. None of the characters fit that realistic look to it.
There's that odd contrast.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my second dislike.
Okay, my second dislike would probably be the make your mark point. At the very end of the movie, that Arlo is allowed to make his mark on the silo. I'd be like, I don't know how long he's been gone. Like, he's been gone for several days, several months, don't know. But at the same time, he shows up, and everyone just like, oh, absolutely, we believe everything you've said, and be like, oh, you can put your mark up there, no problem. And I'm left scratching my head. It's just like, okay, so
why would they have reason to disbelieve him?
I don't know. It's just
I'm just asking because I know you've thought this through.
Yeah, it was just I just found it very odd. Be like, it's like, yeah, sure, you're gonna be like, your son's gonna arrive home after months and several months later,
surviving across that entire journey by itself. I would think would be worth putting your mark on the silo.
Yeah,
I would think.
Yeah,
when you compare it to Buck putting carrying all those logs.
Yeah,
and Libby, I don't remember what Libby did.
Libby was more plowing the ground,
right, in the rain. It's like,
yeah,
okay, that's hard and everything.
Yeah,
but none of that compares to surviving pterodactyls, velociraptors, and making friends with Tyrannosaurus rexes.
Yeah,
on your journey back over, I'm assuming thousands of miles.
Yeah,
considering the size of dinosaurs, how fast they can run.
Yeah,
or we believe they can run, and just the general distance between the more Wild West area and the other side of the Rocky Mountains area. So, yeah.
I don't know. I just something about that, be like him just be able to make his mark, got under my crawl for some reason, to use the vernacular of the time. Mm-hmm. It's just like, for some I'm not saying be like, oh, they dismissed him or anything like that. It just seemed a little bit odd to me. And now, granted, it's a really I
think it's more odd that his mark is on the same level of his mother.
Exactly. That's one of the weird points.
But admittedly, because I think they should have been on the same
as the siblings. Yeah.
But at the same time, you can tell from the first time you see where Mama and Papa's marks are that, somebody's got to be in the center. I bet it's Arlo when he finally gets there.
Yes. But that's one of my very odd nitpicks. And it's just because I would think if you make your mark, it's something that someone else has seen. No one else saw this, so it's.
So you're saying they have no reason to believe anything he said?
Yeah, exactly.
Why? I don't understand why you would think they would think he'd have a reason to lie.
I don't know. I know it's
a tall tale.
Yeah, I don't know. Just it's a very weird. It's a very weird dislike. I know it's weird. I probably didn't flesh it out as well as I should have, but yeah, let's just go with that. My number 2. I know it's a very odd one. We'll probably discuss it later, but
all right, I'll move on. Even though I want to fight you over this.
Okay.
Because that's 9/10 of the point of the movie.
I know. It was a weird point. I probably didn't think it all the way through when I wrote it, but hey, that's what happens. We make mistakes when we're doing this stuff.
Okay, my third dislike.
All right.
My third dislike is the fact that pterodactyls come back.
Oh, good night. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. The pterodactyls are a great enemy.
Yeah.
For the scene that they are in.
Yeah.
And maybe Arlo and Spot did need something to drive them forward that last bit. A last climax or so. Mm-hmm. But in my mind, I'm thinking, why bring those 3 back? They have no reason to come back other than they are following the storm, and the storm is over the mountain.
Right.
Granted.
Yeah.
But they're also, I'm guessing, hundreds of miles from where they ran into the pterodactyls in the first place.
Yeah.
There really is no reason it has to be these guys. There's no rivalry, no real animosity between the characters, other than Arlo kept them from eating Spot at the beginning of the movie, or halfway through the movie.
Well, they did say be like we're gonna be like we're gonna find our revenge or something like that.
Maybe, but in my mind, I'm thinking, if you had to have one more hurdle for them to jump over before they split and go their separate ways,
right?
One more time for Arlo and Spot to come together and show that love that the two of them obviously have.
Right.
Couldn't it have been anything else? Is
Very
there
true.
anything else that would have fit that? Because those three characters are the most annoying characters in the movie.
That is true.
And I don't even like them. They're not even really villains. I guess is my problem. Is this movie really doesn't have any villains except for them?
Yeah.
And they're only villains because they show back up at the end.
Yeah.
Couldn't the villains have been anybody else? Or not villains. Why did the movie need a villain? Why couldn't it just been something else that gives them that nice push to get them to come together where they fall in the river? It could have been they could have slipped and fell off the mountain into the river and accomplished the same thing and Arlo not being scared to jump in the river after Spot.
Yeah.
And then he could have had the vision with his father and all that other kind of stuff, and then wakes back up and sees Spot hanging from that tree in the middle of the river, and it would have accomplished the same thing without bringing back up these three characters who they're brought up too much to be single adversaries.
Yes.
But they're not menacing enough to be full-on villains.
Yes.
That's my thought there. It's just, I wish, why were they the returning characters to push them that last step?
Yeah. Kind of that same thought that, like, couldn't it have been like the Raptors? Like, be like
The Raptors would have made sense.
The Raptors would have made sense.
That weirdo with the birds on his horns would have made about as much sense as the pterodactyls.
Yeah. But
trying to get Spot.
That's true.
They wanted Spot.
They wanted Spot so much, but like they followed them.
Yeah. That would make sense.
Yeah.
But all the pterodactyls are doing is they're there for food, and they're still mad that Arlo and Spot got away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just... I like my villains to be villains.
Yeah.
If they're going to be villains. Antagonists and villains are two different things.
Agreed.
Because there's lots of antagonists Arlo and Spot fight throughout this movie.
True.
The only reason that the pterodactyls get the bump to villain is because they reappear. They didn't need to reappear. Anyone could have handled that and been a better... Or, heck, if the pterodactyls somehow had stolen the longhorns, or they run across the velociraptors there instead of the pterodactyls, that would have been a better fit.
Okay.
And not great, obviously,
Yeah.
because I think the movie does a good job with those characters. I even think it does a good job with the pterodactyls in that first scene.
Yeah.
I just don't see why you bring them back for the last group of antagonists as a reappearing antagonist.
Yeah.
Because that technically makes them a villain, and as villains, they're not that good villains.
Agreed.
So yeah, that's my number 3. What's your third dislike?
My third dislike would actually be with when we first meet the pterodactyls, the thunderclap. It's not really a dislike. They're predators. That's what they do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like how the manner of which the manner of which they dispatch their prey.
Yes.
I was like, when they show this little raccoon characters, oh, that's so cool.
They intentionally made it incredibly cute.
Oh yeah, incredibly cute. Be like very well designed character, and it's just hump.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, what the crap was that?
This is a Disney movie?
This is a Disney Pixar film. It's like, oh my gosh,
And you just showed somebody getting eaten.
alive.
Yes.
And his tails is still sticking out. I was just like, what the heck?
I mean, I know they're meat eaters, but come on.
Yeah. It's kind of, it'd be like if they would have done that with like Zazu and like Scar.
Well, Scar did try to eat Zazu.
He did try to eat Zazu, but I can't remember for the life of me that you'd actually see a villain character actually devour another character ever in like a Pixar or a Disney film. I might be mistaken, but it's, from my recollection, that was just pure shocking.
Well, Monstro did swallow Pinocchio.
But he didn't eat him.
What do you call that?
Getting spit up later on.
But he was technically eaten
That's
for a short amount of time, and then he was thrown up.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I don't know how much that actually counts, though.
Yeah, it's Jonah in the well, Jonah in the well kind of situation. But I was just like, oh my god! I was like, am I seeing this in a Pixar Disney film? I was utterly baffled. I was like, wait, okay. Not knocking it, but it's just, I was purely, utterly shocked when I saw that. Mm-hmm. And it's just like played up like it was nothing. It was like, I understand they're predators. That's what predators do.
For them, it was nothing.
Yeah.
And it properly scares Arlo to death. Cause he does a 180 on these guys. He thinks they're cool guys at the beginning because they're doing all this
stuff. Until they chop this little...
And then they swallow this fur ball. And it's like, oh, you're not good guys.
Yeah, let me get out of here.
This recontextualizes everything you just said. And in that case, it is well. But at the same time, it's like, did that just happen?
Yes, exactly.
In a PG movie?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, they threatened this all the time throughout Zootopia, but you never actually saw it.
No, but it was very shocking. It was very shocking, very just in your face. This character just our quote unquote main villain just swallowed a very cute little critter down the hatch
to show how much of a villain he is.
That's just show what kind of villain it is. And that's a very good point. It's
there to make him appear to be the villain.
Yeah, it's
the closest thing they have to a villain.
Yeah, it's shock value. That's what it is. And don't
get me wrong, shock value when done properly works.
Yeah.
I think this is playing on the fact of here's something you've never seen Disney or Pixar ever do.
Exactly.
So you're not expecting it at all, and we're just going to play off like, oh yeah, I'm a predator. That's what I do. I eat people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
you don't expect that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could have played it up a little bit.
Yeah.
He's done the whole holding above the mouth, slowly lowering it while he's going, man, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Exactly.
That would have made it give you a little bit of warning. I guess this is the best word I can get for it. But because it is the first time something like that has been seen in a Disney Pixar movie.
Yes.
Except for Pirates, but that doesn't count.
Yeah. Pirates is live action.
And I'm sure, in my mind, something in the 80s had to do this because that's when Disney was at its darkest.
Yeah, Bronze Age.
Yeah, in my mind, it's like maybe that was Black Cauldron. But I've never seen Black Cauldron, so I can't say.
No, Fergie did jump into the cauldron, but he was brought back.
Anyway, I think that brings us to the end of our.
I think so.
Before we get off on another tangent.
Yes.
Jacob, what are you going to rate this movie?
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna give it a solid 8.
Okay.
Solid 8. It's a great film. It does have its problems. BLA does have a weak main villain.
If you want to call them a main villain.
Yeah, if you want to call them a main villains, the character designs and the juxtaposition between this gorgeous background and our very cartoony characters is very, very hard juxtaposition. But the story is amazing. The character development's great. The relationships between the characters, the journey in which our main character goes on to become to get past his fear. And I love that. I absolutely love that about the story. And with all its little problems here and there, I thoroughly enjoyed this film. It is a delight and it's like you said earlier, it's one of those hidden gems that hardly anybody's ever seen. So yeah, big number 8, and people go watch this film. It's on Disney Plus. Go watch it. So yeah, what's yours?
I'm giving the movie an 8.5.
Okay.
Because I can't rate it 9, and I kind of want to.
I understand.
But there's that thing in my head. It's like these an artistic juxtaposition like that is worth more than a point. Than a 1.0.
Right.
In terms of how bad it is. It's not quite 1.5, but then you've got these other things that push it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I still absolutely love this movie. I wish I'd have watched it more while it was in theaters, because I will tell you, seeing those landscapes in theaters will take your breath away.
Okay.
It's a shame that not even a 4K television at 85 inches, as nice as that is, will not be able to pull that sensation back off.
Yeah.
It's just such a beautiful movie, and I love it for that. I just can't rate it more than an 8.5 for those reasons.
Understand.
So, yeah, 8.5.
Well, rock on.
All right. So that brings us to the end of another review. Now, we have decided, instead of rolling this week,
we're going to do something a little special.
We're going to do something a little special, considering the fears the coronavirus has brought. We need something a little light, something a little fun, and something a little apropos to the subject.
Yes.
Next week, we're going to be reviewing Osmosis Jones, because I couldn't think of any other movie in which the main characters go into our characters inside the body of a human being. In this case, Bill Murray.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's Bill Murray.
Yeah, it's Bill Murray.
I didn't know that. This is going to be fun.
Yes.
Anyways,
he's not taking care of his body that well.
Okay, I got you. I didn't catch the context when you said it. It's like, oh, okay, well, never mind. So yeah, we're gonna be watching. This
is one of those live action /
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Between Bill Murray and his daughter.
Oh,
as he's getting sicker.
Oh, okay. So, I didn't know that. Okay, this is gonna be fun.
Watch this movie?
No, I've never seen it.
I watched it one time.
Okay,
it's interesting.
Okay, so yeah, next week, Osmosis Jones.
Come, Jacob. We must prepare for next week.
Prepare for what, Drew?
The same thing we do every week, Jacob. Record a podcast.
Oh boy.
So where can they find you, Jacob?
They can find me on Facebook at Jacob B. Heron and Jacob's Daily Art Corner, my personal art Facebook page. On Twitter at Jacob B. Heron. On Instagram at Jacob B. Heron. And on Letterboxd at Jacob Heron. Where can they find you, Drew?
You can find me on Facebook at Drew Dodgen. You can also find my Facebook page at Drew's Photo Bin, where I upload my photography. You can also follow me on Letterboxd at GGeorge759 and Twitter at GGeorge759. Where can they find us, Jacob?
You can also visit our website, thecellcast.podbean.com, where you will find every episode we released and links to listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our RSS feed, if we aren't in your favorite podcast app directory, please share, review, and subscribe to us there and share us with your friends.
You will also find a link to our Facebook group, the Double Feature Podcast Community, where we talk about both animated and live-action movies. We share this with our other podcasts, which we do with Jacob's brother Jim, at the Movie of the Week podcast, where we talk about live-action movies. You can also email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Also, please like our page on Facebook. We try to post about upcoming movies. If you comment on that movie's post before we record, we'll read your comments in the episode. And remember, every time we say The Cellcast, that is with a single L.
Next time on
The Cellcast.
Mr. Mayor, do you have a plan to deal with the fat cell housing shortage?
I'd like to announce we're beginning construction on a third chin.
Mr. Mayor, we're having jockeying.
Any comments on today's plan?
What do you have to say to all the hair cells recently laid off from the scalp?
There'll be plenty of new jobs for everyone on the back.
What do you think of the
What do you think of Frank's daughter's request for better nutrition?
85% of red blood cell children don't even know how to carry oxygen.
People, you worry too much. The body is in perfect shape. No more questions, thank you. Do they know how hard I work? No, nobody cares.
Mr. Mayor,
Not now, Leah. I have a body to run.
I've got Tom Kalanick's new campaign ad.
Oh, let's go. Put it on.
The following is a paid political announcement.
The bowels. It didn't always smell this way. No. There was a time when eating right and exercise kept this whole area a vital center of activity. But during Mayor Fleming's term, we've seen rot and stagnation paralyze this neighborhood, as well as the colon and the sphincter. Well, I think it's time we get things moving again. I'm Tom Kalanick. As mayor, I would set long-term goals that include ordering salads and eating bran. Mayor Fleming may think that things are fine just the way they are. But I think that if we pull together and put in a little hard work, a new Frank could be right around the corner.
Mr. Kalanick, what's that smell?
Why, that's the smell of change, Billy. That's the smell of change.
Paid for by Kalanick for mayor.
Can you believe those lies?
Sir, he's got a point. You know, when I came to work for you, you promised you would concentrate more on health issues.
Leah, I want Frank to be healthy, but think of the sacrifices, the hard work, the lack of potato chips. That's not what the voters want.
Then why are you behind in the polls?
Don't you worry about the polls. I have a plan that's going to flush Kalanick down the toilet.